This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh baby, does it get any more fun than watching this Detroit Tigers team right now? They are hot and staying hot, and it's the late inning magic. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. Thanks as always for staying up late with us. And once again, back-to-back nights, you were rewarded for staying up late because, man, this Tigers team comes alive. How about 13 runs from the eighth inning or on in the first two games of this series? And it's another lopsided win, but it all comes late. An 8-run ninth inning, and we are here to break it down. This is your home for all things Detroit Tigers post-game right here on Locked On Tigers, all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team each and every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe as well. And man, the Tigers are absolutely rolling. What we got on tap for today's show, Riley Greene's home run sparks it all in that ninth inning. He hits 2 home runs in the ninth inning, and Javy Baez continues. And oh yeah, Tarik Skubal does what Tarik Skubal does. It was just a tremendous evening of Tiger baseball once again, and I'm excited to chop it up with each and every one of you that have stayed up late, or if you're catching the audio-only version. Either way, it is fun to be a Detroit Tigers team. So buckle up, dial it in. We got a ton of people watching. So as always, let your voice be heard. We'll try to get to as many comments as possible. But you know where we have to start. It's what everybody's talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
When I was preparing tonight's show, which, by the way, you can tell I'm on the road if you're watching on YouTube, so apologies for the mobile studio setup. We'll be back in the home studio at some point, but visiting a friend for some wedding this weekend. So there you go, some wedding festivities. But we got to make it happen when the Tigers are playing as good a baseball as they are. But I thought we were going to be talking about not anything. It was a typical benches clearing, if you want to call it that, but just a little dust up with Tarik Skubal and the Angels and the Tigers and everything. But by far, the biggest story in this one is the Detroit Tigers' ability to come alive late with 8 runs in that ninth inning. And my goodness, a game that was tied at 1. And go back even further. I don't want to take anything away from the 7th run home run solo shot from Trey Sweeney that tied this game at 1. And then in the 9th, it's a Riley Greene solo home run to make it 2-1. It's a Colt home run to make it 3-1. Javy Baez makes it 5-1. Kerry Carpenter scoring on the wild pitch to make it 6-1. And then, oh yeah, Riley Greene with a 3-run dong. And oh yeah, it's 9-1 Detroit Tigers on top, just putting the exclamation point on it and the finishing touches. And an interesting note here, Riley Greene becomes just the second Tiger in the last 50 years to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. The only other Tiger that did it, Maglio Ordonez. So what company there, and the Tigers cruise to the win. You absolutely love to see it. That's what we're all talking about. Let's get some of these comments in because I appreciate everybody staying up late. Fishing with Shredders says the boys are rolling. Fun to watch. There you go. Gaming Kiwi says 8-run ninth. The Dude says I wasn't superstitious until this game. Baez batting 300 has to stay in center field. Tigers on pace for 100 wins. That's right. An AL best now 21-12. Javy Baez staying in center field. We've talked about it at length. And if he continues to be on a tear offensively, there's certainly a conversation for it. I understand the superstitious component and the angle you want to take there with if it's not broke, why try to fix it? Javy Baez is playing far and away his best baseball since he became a Detroit Tiger, and it's happening in center field. Zingdad says that was awesome. I agree. Fishing with Shredder says I agree. That was awesome. Sports Will Last says, how about Riley Greene, first player in MLB history with 2 homers in the 9th inning via Ryan Spader? So I didn't know that. All right, we're learning. I always love to learn a little bit more on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. So great stuff there. And indeed, I got to put my hand up here. I was worried. I was worried about Riley Greene. He just came out so slow offensively, and he looked in a funk, and not just with how poorly he was hitting, but also in the field. And I was probably looking at it with too critical of an eye, but he didn't look like he was effortlessly gliding in the outfield like he used to. It looked like everything was a to-do. And the numbers spoke for themselves with how slow of a start he got off to. But man, all of those worries are gone. And nights like tonight are a great reminder of why he is he was an all-star last year, and has every bit the opportunity to repeat exactly that. We got a ton more comments coming in. Rufus T. Cat says the Angels called. They're going to pick up Kenta to aid their bullpen. Oh, Rufus getting in with a zinger. You got to love it. Chasing Cardboard Tigers says Young can play some third. Indeed, I like Jace Young at third. He's got to start hitting. He absolutely does. But there's a conversation to be had there. And when you're winning and you're playing as good a baseball as the Detroit Tigers are, all of these things, all of these possible lineups and different outcomes that AJ Hinch is so good at putting together, they all become part of the conversation because, listen, you got a good thing going. And for the Tigers to maintain that strategic edge, that strategic advantage, guys like AJ Hinch are a mastermind behind putting that all together. And so Jace Young at third, I think, can certainly be a factor in that. Shadow Wolf 87 says Trey Sweeney came in clutch tonight as well. Indeed, he did. Because, man, this Tigers team kind of looked dead in the water, and not the exact same game as last night, but certainly some similarities where you've got an offense that just seems anemic for the majority of the game, and then all of a sudden just explode with the late inning magic. And it just is so fun to watch because you can never count this Tiger team out of any game. You just can't, because of the ability they've shown to come alive late. All right, fishing. Who we got? Braylon Dennis says Javy Baez is back, baby. No doubt about that. I told my brother this is the best Javy has looked as a Detroit Tiger, and he completely agreed. All right, so Javy Baez. And I know the guys on 97 When the Ticket were having a good time with calling him Javy Baez, since he's reinvented himself and he's no longer Javy, he's Javy Baez, or Jiver or whatever. They are having a good time with that. Good stuff. But Javy 2 for 4 tonight with the 2 RBI and the 2-run shot. So, and it was off Kenley Jansen as well. I think that we talked about that last night, how the Angels' use of their bullpen had been a little bit puzzling and somewhat head-scratching. And this time, Ron Washington does use Kenley Jansen. And it doesn't matter because the Tigers get to Jansen as well. All right. Let's see who else we got. Andy M says, eat 'em up, Tigers. Absolutely. I mean, it really is. And some love for Zach McKinstry. The hitting streak's still alive. Jim and Denise say 21-12. I mean, really, we haven't even gotten to Tarik Skubal yet because he was really, really good again tonight. I mean, Tarik Skubal on the mound, 6 innings, just the 4 hits, 1 earned run, a rare home run that he gives up. He still strikes out 8 in 6 innings of work. I mean, the guy is just as steady and consistent of a guy as you can count on. Hand him the ball, and you're getting at least 6 innings. And in this case, it's a rarity. It's not 6 scoreless innings. But man, that was a treat. And I said this the other night, and I don't have the numbers for you, but you associate that Angels ballpark where the Tigers would lose a lot of games. They just have traditionally never played well in a lot of those games over the years in Anaheim, or whatever they're called, California Angels, Los Angeles Angels, Angels of Anaheim, whatever you want to call them. They've just not played well in that ballpark. So to come out and get 2 emphatic wins in really similar fashion with late run magic is really a testament to what this team has really put forth. Okay. We did talk a little bit about the Tarik Skubal Nito incident, and I don't want to this is from Tulsa, who just joined, or Tusla, and I think it's a nothing burger, especially with the way the game played out, and you just get the Tigers mollywhopping them down the stretch in the final inning. And so, it was a typical baseball benches clearing. Everybody wants to be a tough guy. Nobody's going to actually do anything. I thought Nita was somewhat, I'll say, foolish, because obviously I'm a Tigers fan. So yeah, I don't think you hit one home run off of the reigning Cy Young, you get to prance around the bases like you're God's gift to baseball. And when he comes back and strikes you out, yeah, he's going to talk a little junk, talk a little smack. And Tarik Skubal's known for that. I mean, he's an absolute bulldog on the mound. And do emotions get hot from time to time in a game? Absolutely. And nothing boiled over. And I like the competitive fire from Tarik Skubal. I mean, how many times do we talk about him getting a huge strikeout and not just fist bumping, but roaring and screaming? And yeah, there's some expletives and profanity in there. And there was the classic tweet from his mom last year saying, calling him by his middle name, that he shouldn't be talking like that, but she understands it. It's a part of what has endeared him to the city of Detroit, not just the success on the mound, but also his personality and the way he carries himself. So I'm backing my guy, Tarik Skubal, no matter what. And in this case, I think he had every right to talk a little junk in that sense as well. Okay. We are a little bit over time here on this first segment. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. It's a live Locked On Tigers postcast. We'll knock out our player of the game and our turning point when we come back here on Locked On Tigers postcast. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play. And included in that, you're ready to go. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports College Football 25, Call of Duty, and so many more, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. What if you could just jump into your favorite Xbox title without needing your console in every room? Sounds like paradise, right? That's what you get with the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. And how do you game when you're not in front of your main setup? Well, that's again where the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K comes in. You're traveling to hotels, Airbnbs, family visits, whatever it may be, or you just want to change the scenery up and maybe game in your bedroom. That's where the Fire TV Stick 4K makes it possible to keep playing from almost anywhere. So head over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. That's Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Once again, that's Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. All right, we got to knock these out of the park because I just got too excited talking about this huge Tigers victory, 9-1 over the Angels, 8 runs in the 9th inning. And I wonder what the turning point is tonight.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
We'll go multiple steps to this because the game certainly turned when Trey Sweeney hit the solo shot to tie the game up at 1. The game turned even more when Riley Greene put the Tigers up 2-1 with the solo shot, and then the floodgates opened with the Colt home run, the Javy Baez home run, another Riley Greene home run. I mean, it's just great stuff all the way around. I love this team. I love the Detroit Tigers. They're playing so well. There, I said it.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
You got to go Riley Greene. I mean, my goodness, what a turnaround for Riley Greene. And we worried about the slow start, but I think it's safe to say he's back and better than ever. And we might see him reach new heights. And obviously he was an all-star last year, but man, you have high expectations. 3 more hits tonight. How about 4 runs batted in and 2 dongs? It's Riley Greene, your player of the game tonight. want to keep this going because, man, it's a lot of fun, but it is also late. It's a late night game. And as I mentioned, as you can see in the background, I am traveling now. So, up in the air for tomorrow and Sunday. I'm trying to finalize a couple of traveling logistics. There might be on an airplane when the postcast would come, but wanted to make sure I got in as many as I could despite being on the road. So appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And wow, what a blast it was watching this Tigers team. All right. And I do love this comment here from Chasing Cardboard Tigers. It's a good way to end. Go ahead and Chris Illich, cut Tarik the check already. Lock him in. He needs to be a Tiger for life. I couldn't agree with that anymore. Let's make it happen. So, all right. Thanks so much for tuning in and staying up late with me. It was certainly worth it because the Detroit Tigers get the win over the Los Angeles Angels. 9-1 the final in this one. Riley Greene, 2 bombs. Javy Baez with the home run. Colt Keith with the home run. And oh yeah, Trey Sweeney with the game-tying home run in the 7th inning. And the Detroit Tigers continue to rake, especially late in games. They are an American League best 21-12, squarely in first place in the American League Central. They'll go for the series win tomorrow against the Angels. Have a wonderful rest of your morning since we are past midnight, obviously, in the Eastern time zone. And we'll talk to you next time on the Locked On Tigers Postcast. Good night.